All right, here we are. We got Mike Huguenot here, and we are going to be doing a special bonus episode on his book. But before we talk about that, let's just chit chat with Mike a little bit. How you doing today, Mike?
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
We're great.
Yeah.
Just for the listeners who, might not, they know your music, but maybe they don't know your name. Can you just work backwards through the bands that you've been in?
Backwards. Okay.
Yeah. Start most recent and move back.
Okay. I played some guitar on the EP and upcoming LP of the band Teens in Trouble. Kind of like it's my friend Lizzie Cuevas, and she does a little bit like Weezer inspired, or I don't know, indie rockish. It's cool. I'm enjoying coming up with guitar ideas for it. So that's one.
What was that? What's Lizzie's old band that played with Narboots back in the
Glowing
Rocket
Stars?
Stage? Glowing
Stars.
Yeah,
that's the Glowing Stars. Yeah, she was in like a chiptune band at that time.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, and then so probably the next one before that would be my solo record, which was an all guitar solo record where I had been trying to think about songs for the structure of like a band, but as without a band, and just playing, arranging those for a guitar somehow. So there's a X'd, which came out in 2020, is my solo record. It was probably the most recent thing before Teens in Trouble. And then realistically, the most active thing before that would be the Jeff Rosenstock band, which I play guitar in, and have for almost the whole time he's been solo. He put out the I Look Like Shit record, which rocks. Great record. Great way to come out as a solo artist. Great first statement. And then the next full length, We Cool, is when me and the rest of the band kind of came in as the band. Before that, I was in a band called Hard Girls, that was like kind of indie rockish, post-punky, but also kind of punk and kind of stoner rocky at times. And we all listened to a variety of stuff and kind of tried to do it all as a three-piece. So there's that band.
Did you were you like briefly in Bruce Lee band?
Yeah, I guess I should add that in there. Yes, I was briefly in the Bruce Lee band for so after joining, I guess that would be then before the Jeff Rosenstock in this backwards chronology. So after Jeff Rosenstock would be the Bruce Lee band, which I played on the EP community support group. I forget what the EP is called. Oh no, community support group is the EP, and Everything Will Be All Right, My Friend, is the LP that I played on.
And Jeff, I remember when we did a Bruce Lee episode, some of the stuff that to me I thought was like, oh, this is pure Jeff songwriting. He said, no, that's Mike Huguenot.
Yeah, well, that was a really cool writing process, because it was basically the two of us. Like, I came in with like 2 sketches, and I think he came in with a sketch or 2, and then we like both had acoustic guitars and sat on Mike Park's couch and just were like playing them, and we're like, we're gonna record this in like 2 days. We got to flesh these songs out and get them in a complete form. Like, let's do it now. And so we kind of like very shotgun like wrote these songs, and it was cool. It was a really fun process. That was that EP. And then I wrote like one other song for the LP, the one that Jesse Michaels is on.
Speaking of
Generations.
Yeah, speaking of, Hard Girls sort of had a band connected in a way.
Correct. And actually, okay, this chronology is full on fucked up right now, because I'm realizing that the Bruce Lee band can only be before Jeff Rosenstock in real time, because that was when we first played with Kevin Higuchi and met him, and Kevin got asked to play on Jeff's solo project. So we're doing some Tenet shit with the time here, we're at the point where we've like seen each other passing through the timelines, and I'm not sure if we're going forward or backwards anymore. But then then there's Classics of Love, which played which was basically Hard Girls plus Jesse Michaels. So that came after Hard Girls and before Bruce Lee Band, before Jeff Rosenstock. And so that was like, Jesse was writing songs that were like, at first, I think they were kind of like mod influenced at first, kind of these like The Jam and like stuff like that, kind of at first, like kind of like really early, like proto punk kind of inspired. And then quickly it turned more into like a kind of a hardcore band. And it just kind of like, we found a groove really well that way. And so the LP kind of ended up being like more hardcore with a couple ska songs on it that were cool,
Yeah.
that were fun to play. Should I keep going, or are there questions?
Keep going.
Keep going. There's
Okay.
definitely one major band that needs to, at the very least, be mentioned.
Okay, so I'm thinking before that. Okay, so then we got Classes of Love and then Hard Girls, and before Hard Girls, there was a real brief ska band in San Jose called the Runaway Five.
Runaway Five.
That basically mostly only played parties. We put out, like, we recorded in our practice space, but it was like me and Bob and John, who will be named in a moment from another thing, and then our friend Jason, aka his real name, Jason Ricchino, and then the singer, this dude Dan McKee, who is like this blue-eyed soul kind of singer. But that was like a kind of like trad, weird version of a trad band. We didn't really know what we were doing. We were just screwing around. And it was like very early when I was thinking about playing guitar. So then before that was Shinobu, which was like my first real project where I was really kind of like, leading a band in a sincere way, as a songwriter in some capacity.
Yeah.
And then there was stuff before that too. We could go way back.
Keep going back all the way into the womb. No, not to go that far.
Yeah, I'm like Mark Bolan. I was what did he say, boogieing out the womb or something like that. But so before that, me and Bob from Shinobu had a quote newer wave band called Rage Against the Robots. And we played shows around the area and stuff. And then my friend Ruben was in that band, and I played in bands in high school with my friend Ruben, like skate punk bands. There's a band called Illegal Elion, because he's Latino, and it was the Elion Gonzalez thing was happening at the time, so we're called Illegal Elion.
Oh, jeez.
And then we changed it eventually to Exhibit Q from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Deep cut, if there's any Pee-wee heads. Ruben was a big Pee-wee head. I don't know if that's the terminology for the fandom, Pee-wee head. But that's one of the more early ones. And then like my first band was this, like, I was like 13, was in the skate punk band called Shooting Blanks. And that was me and my friend Chris on drums, Chris Tim, and my friend Steve Lawler on bass. And Steve was like into East Bay punk, and I was into East Bay punk and like skate punk, and Chris was into all sorts of stuff, and we were 13.
So were you in Chillin' Dogs?
I was also in Chillin' Dogs. That's true. Chillin' Dogs was kind of like a motley assemblage, revolving door kind of situation. That was like mostly Bob Vielma of Shinobu and the Runaway Five, also known as Boboso, and our friend Adam Passion, which together, the three of us, have the Dog People podcast about the Guinan Boys.
Oh, and tell people what genre of music Chillin' Dogs are.
Well, hip hop, obviously.
Hip-hop, yeah.
But Chillin' Dogs, a lot of the whole recording process of all of us coming together was Bob's older brother was like an aspiring hip hop producer in San Jose. And he had a digital 16 track at home. So Bob had access to this digital 16 track, and we were using it to like screw around with and record Rage Against the Robots. And he had an earlier hip hop project. His first band was called the Rapscallions. In high school, they were also a hip hop crew. I played guitar with them very briefly.
Yeah,
but
when Bob was in Narboots, he pulled out a few Rapscallion songs. So,
I love it.
Just like Ab and I pulled out some songs from our old band, Fashion Police. So
it rules. Narboots, what a band! What a band! Cheers to you guys.
Thank you.
I don't remember what I was saying. Chillin' Dogs. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So Bob's older brother was an aspiring hip hop producer, and he had this crew called the NCP, also known as New Compton Prophecy, because they lived off of New Compton Street in San Jose. But so one of the guys in that crew was this rapper Jason T, who was just a wild dude. A really creative musician with a wild approach to hip hop and what he was doing. But he came up with this name, the Chillin' Dogs. He was always casually dropping these ridiculous ideas and things. He got him and Bob's brother ran like a LAN center by our middle school for a bit. And Jason T, his like hip hop tape got banned at the middle school because all the kids were like bumping it super hard and like speaking his weird lingo and stuff, and it got like officially banned at the school. Anyway, so that's the Chillin' Dogs.
So tell people, this will lead into our main conversation. Tell people about your other life, your other job.
So I also do writing. I'm a writer, people might say. I also edit too. I edit the like weekly paper in San Jose, the Metro Silicon Valley. I edit the arts and entertainment section of it. Before that, I was like freelance writing and writing for Metro and for a couple other weeklies around the area and for Guitar World. Aaron, you were my editor briefly during that time.
Yeah. Good times.
Aaron used, sorry, go ahead.
That was the name of the paper. I wasn't saying good times, like,
but also,
but also it was good times.
Good times. But yeah, so I was doing freelancing for a while, and then I've been editing at this paper for about 2 years. And then how do we do this now?
All right, so these two worlds collide into your next project, which is a book about Asian Man records. So we're gonna go behind the curtain in a second, but tell people, so the book's not going to be out for a while. Tell people how they can follow along with what you're doing and just keep in touch with the project in the meantime.
Sure. Yeah. So, well, you can follow me. My last name's hard to spell, but my first name's easy to spell. It's at Mike Huguenor, Huguenor. That's basically what I use on most socials. And I've been talking about it mostly on Twitter, but a little bit on Instagram as well. I am perhaps down to explore other social media networks. If anyone's got that Blue Sky invite, I'm ready to hop ship at any point.
Somebody hook Mike up.
Yeah, come on. Let's get off this train to Mars, this one-way train to Mars.
Also, let's hook up In Defense of Ska as well.
Yeah,
not
for real.
Adam.
Come on.
Adam needs to stay in
I
Twitter.
don't need it.
Yeah.
What's your guys' thoughts on the Twitter fiasco?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. So
I already didn't like Twitter, and I dislike it even more now.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So we are changing realities now as we speak. It's happening. We are now.
Thanks for tuning in with us for this special talk with Mike Huguenot. And if you want to hear the rest of this conversation, head on over to the Patreon. Now look, Mike Park has told us multiple times he will never sign up for the Patreon. So, wouldn't you like to know something Mike doesn't know? Hey, for the cost of $5, that can be you. All right, we'll see you next week. Ska now, more than ever. Hey, do you have an umbrella? It's gonna get wet out there. Scott!